quite as long, but today's their anniversary, by the way. How many years? 20? Or 41 years. Yeah, all right. So give them a hand, amen. 41 years. So, Brother Steve, if you'd come on up and share with us what's on your heart this morning that God has put there, amen.
Good to be here. Well, it is a joy to be with you. Charlotte's with me. Our two sons, Matthew's in Virginia, works at Liberty University, does the media for all the sports. He put together our video. He's trying to make me look good. I think it's in self-defense. He don't want somebody to see it. Something that I would put together, and people say, "That's my dad." So he's put out his best foot for us to make us look good. Our other son, Jonathan, is in the Army in Washington State. So we're back just for a spell. Jonathan got married in September. He's the youngest, and he beat his older brother to the altar. And so Matthew was wanting to get married earlier last year, but it just didn't work out because his wife's sister was expecting, and she just gave birth recently, about a week ago. And so they ended up changing the date and the location, all that stuff, so they came to Orlando. And so we come in for the wedding, and I thought, well, while we're here, I'll try to raise some support for our building. The Lord's allowed us to start 2 churches in Ecuador. We've been missionaries 26 years. We've been in the country, February will make 22 years that we've actually been in the country. And so we went there. Jonathan turned 3 just after we were there. We went to Costa Rica to learn Spanish, and he was just over a year old when we went there. I remember one time when he just started to talk. He wasn't even talking English when we went to Costa Rica. And so while he was there, Matthew was an institute just for teaching people how to speak Spanish. Not just missionaries would go there. Sometimes maybe somebody would go to a foreign country that worked for a company or something or business something. And so they figured it'd be kind of helpful if we could speak the language to do the business, right? So they would be there too. So in doing that, they had a school there for the missionary children and other people's children to teach them just a regular education. So Matthew learned Spanish there as well, but Jonathan, he learned it by just listening to him. I remember one day, like I say, he's just over a year old, and it took us about 1.5 years to learn Spanish, so, we got a few years on him there a little bit. And so he started speaking English. And now we say they speak backwards, and they say we speak backwards. For instance, they'll say that, we say we have a red car. They say you have a car red. So stuff like that. So when again, he'd be speaking all of a sudden, and he was doing it backwards. And I caught myself. And you know how you'll start to giggle and laugh, and you could egg them on. So, children think, oh, that's pretty good. They like that. So they keep doing it. So I caught myself, and I said, I cannot laugh at this. I had to go to the other room and laugh. And so anyway, that's the story. I remember, I'm from West Virginia, and so we don't speak English. So forget about trying to learn Spanish, right? Now listen. Now we get a good education. Reading, writing, arithmetic, and road to Cleveland. There's a lot of good folks from West Virginia. The rest of them are still there. But I remember when I was going to the churches trying to raise our support. And like you had the prayer request today. So sometimes they'd ask you if you have a special request, and they had the list. I didn't want anybody to get bogged down. I thought one thing and one thing only, that I could learn Spanish. And so I said, just pray that we can learn Spanish. And here's the thing, I figured, well, God called me to go to Ecuador, so I knew He was going to give me the language. But I was a little bit concerned about when He would give it to me. so I was saying, please pray that we learn the Spanish. And so anyway, and the Lord's been good to us. He's allowed us to start a couple of churches there, and allowed us to buy land for both of the churches. Both the churches, they have land. One of them is actually on their land. They're in some provisional facilities, just kind of, it's in a neighborhood, so we didn't have to worry about building a real building and get permits and stuff. Permits you have to get to be able to build, and then the real building so it's secure. So you don't have to really worry about that since it's a neighborhood. But the other one where that we're raising support right now, the Lord blessed us. It's on a main highway. I mean, it's got 3 lanes on each side and a couple of excess lanes. And the city has built a park across from, not across from, but diagonal from it. And it's right in front of a bus stop. I mean, it's a big city. We're in a big city, and they've got lots of cars. But the thing about it, most of the people, they go by bus. And the Lord put a bus stop right in front of our church. So, I mean, it's fantastic. So it's really great. Amen. And we've just about finished the first phase, but somebody said I had to pay for it. So that's what I'm back for. But God's been good. You'll see it there. Matthew put that together, and I've had him update it a couple of times. It shows we've raised about, the Lord's helped us raise about 80,000 on the first phase, and we're trying to raise 130. It says 80 and 40, but you've heard about cost overruns.
Right.
And so we were just back there and had to do some things. Listen to this. We bought this land. Now I'm going to preach, believe it or not, and I've already checked when you guys leave, okay? So I'm going home when you go home, so don't worry about that. It's my monologue, get me comfortable. And so they made us put parking space on it in the thing. And so we're talking about what we're going to do because, take about the biggest part of it for that. So the guys decided, let's put the Sunday school on the bottom floor, and we'll go to the auditorium above. And I said, well, folks are good with walking up there. That'd be great then. So we're doing that so we can get our space back. But the first phase is going to be Sunday school and auditorium, and we're hoping to do something on the outside. Isn't this something? Build a permanent building and you want to put provisional facilities, right? Isn't that something? So we're going to put something on the outside, some provisional thing. I know it sounds stupid, doesn't it? You're building a permanent building and you're going to put something provisional. So we're going to put something out there where that we can just have a roof like over for Sunday school, and then eventually when we build the auditorium above it, then they can come inside for Sunday school. Right now, it'd be like meeting right here, and you have chairs and you got to move them in the corners for Sunday school and then move them all back for auditorium. But that's better not having it all. Right now we're under like what would be a carport. You'll see it there in a moment. The 2 churches, one church, the provisional facility, and the other one, we're in just this roof thing over us. And so we're really excited to be able to get out of that. But God's been good, and we're so thankful for it. And I'm hyped, as you can tell. I can't wait to get back. But we worked, can you believe this? We bought it in 2007. We just started building it last year, 11 years. And now, after all that time to get permits to build it, now we've got to get permits to go in and sit down. Can you believe that? It sounds so crazy. Now, let me tell you what the reasoning for that is. Now, on the ups front, for real, you can understand it. You want to make sure it's a safe building. But they're not worried about being a safe building. They want another chance to get some money, is what it boils down to, if you've ever been in those kind of countries. We've waited them out. We didn't give them any money. Here's what my thinking was. I don't know if I was too spiritual about it, but I hope I was. But you're thinking, well, if you pay them, when do you quit paying, right? So that's when I figured, first of all, we're going to do that to the Lord, but we don't even get us. And then second, I thought, well, if you start paying them, when are you going to ever quit? So we waited them out. And after all those years getting no, this architect said, I'm going to go down and talk to somebody. See if we can talk to them. Went down there and they got it. But now they're working on the second aspect of trying to get the money from us by getting permits to go in and sit down. So pray that we can get those permits to go in and sit down. That's where we're at right now. I thank you so much for letting us be here. We're really happy to be here and appreciate you, and you've been so friendly to us. It has sound right off the bat. It should. Yeah.
It has been our privilege to carry the message of the gospel south. God is blessed with the establishment of 2 churches, Iglesia Bíblica Bautista La Esperanza in Albanor and in Huancavinca.
Yes, sir, son, Matthew talking.
Welcome to Guayaquil, Ecuador, a city of almost 3 million people in need of the gospel. With over 80% of the Ecuadorian population professing to be Catholics, the country is in need of a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. It has been our privilege to carry the message of the gospel south. God is blessed with the establishment of 2 churches, Iglesia Bíblica Bautista La Esperanza in Albanor and in Huancavica. Huancavica has seen their land begin to change from a place for recreation to a location with a church for worship. Please pray that this new location will increase their presence in the surrounding communities. The Albanor Church has continued to grow and build on their land with the completion of a baptistry. Church has added Sunday school classroom space, and these will help reach singles and young married couples. Concentrated learning environments for their age groups. The members are excited about these provisional buildings because they will help grow and spread the gospel as they look to build more permanent facilities in the future. As the churches in Ecuador have seen the blessing of a missionary in their own lives, we are grateful they have become missions-hearted themselves. We are blessed with many who are being used to teach and train others to serve. And their heart to learn how they can best be equipped to be used by God is incredible. We are so thankful for the willingness to learn and do the best that they can in reaching others for Christ and sharing the gospel. Children and adolescents attend the services. Charlotte has overseen the curriculum of the Sunday school classes and has trained teachers to serve. Through these ministries, the children have become involved in special programs in the churches. Has seen the fruit of a close community of believers, and they enjoy using special services and campaigns to reach others for Christ. To construct buildings for worship and ministry, and we ask for your financial help as we continue to build lives for the Lord.
Amen. Thanks for your help. 1 Thessalonians